item number item number 2, I skipped over. Open, receive, updated, and/or new proposals on Texas Amphitheater. I think you said we got one new.
I have one new that was received. It is AJ Real Estate Investments for Amelia. Cash offer.
And I think Dr. Baugh, he had called me, I think he's got something he'd like to say about maybe in the future he'd like to do a proposal. I think Robert Drake, I apologize, also would like to make a discussion, that we have anything to accept. Dr. Baugh, would you mind if you can work your way up to the microphone? We'll let you discuss what you have on your mind, and then we'll let Robert Drake discuss what he has on his mind. And then we'll go from there.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Baugh.
Thank you, Your Honor, and our commissioners. I came essentially to commend our county for having the foresight some 30 years ago to look forward to, number one, the liberties found in the United States and the state of Texas to be exercised as a light on a hill. And what they did was to expend $10 million+ to fill the amphitheater. On today's spendable market, that's $26 million. With the foresight, recognizing that it was, number one, their prerogative to do so, your prerogative to do so, the county's prerogative. Number two, the investment in the county itself for wholesome light, for that which is found in the preamble of all the original states of the United States of America, reference to our Creator, God, and to the gospel of His Son, literally reference. So in building the amphitheater specifically to invite the promise pageant, we are exercising our American rights. But the benefits were numerous. Over these years, millions of dollars have been spent by tourists, attracted over 2 million tourists have come to see the promise in person. The actual structural engineer, the president of the promise from inception, is present today, and he's gratified at the fact that the light is still shining on the hill. The last 72 hours, I and my consultants have been wrestling with a potential bridge for the county to be appropriately compensated and yet for the promise to be satisfied and to maintain its position of influence. The promise is as much a part of Glen Rose as the dinosaur footprints that bring international academic attention, as much a part of Glen Rose as the Scottish roses that ran in the glen that helped to name our town. The promise is a light on a hill. We need it, and the promise needs the county. Understanding there was somewhat of an impasse in the offer made by the promise personnel, had no direct knowledge, but in hopes that later I found more direct knowledge and relative in hopes to encourage the promise personnel to offer a more substantial benefit to the county, and because you have to give an account to all of us. In hopes of that, I sent word to the promise that at the Creation Evidence Museum, if they could at least match the other offers in order to help them, we would contribute $50,000. $10,000 immediately, and give me a few months to raise the other $40,000. It works better that way. And that offer still stands. But recognizing, having read the appraisal of the property, the certified independent appraisal, being $3,020,000, understanding that that takes into account the repairs that need to be made, understanding the investments that need to be made if further changes should be imposed, understanding that it is still in its current condition worth $3,020,000. So, was there any way that we, as an independent entity, could buy the property and give priority to the promise? We've been exploring that for the last 72 hours to the point where part of our team is actually making 3D models. We have had for a number of years drafted a concept. We like limos. I like limos. My life is perfect. So we have an ultimate plan to build a dome structure to use the COSM technology that involves millions of small LED lights and brings an atmosphere directly over whoever is viewing the venue, whoever that might be, whether it's 3,500 people at the amphitheater or 500 people at another facility. We still have that plan. So we've been exploring the potential how we might use the amphitheater, might purchase it and might use it with this in mind. But it would require our building a steel dome and the technology involving tens of millions of dollars expended. So our next concern, since that for the moment would be off the table, our next concern was how do we preserve the amphitheater and keep the promise fully active? So, understanding that it's worth $3,020,000 today, as it is. Trying to be accurate, honorable, recognizing that the county has supported all of these efforts, all of these decades. Our intention has been to offer $2 million for the purchase, $2 million for the purchase of the facility. So I went to our contributors, and no one has that kind of money or a portion of it. So I went to the bank, and of course, at the bank you have to have collateral to get $2 million to pay for the facility. And to this date, the only way we could get the money is to put up our entire facility as collateral, which of course would not be on the table at all. All of this is to say that we're doing everything we can. I'm doing everything I can personally, and the museum is doing everything it can for the promise to have total and complete access. So I came to realize that the promise, if we own the property, that property, it certainly would be with the intent in mind that we would have a lot of use of it, because we would have to raise tens of millions of dollars to carry out what we need. But the promise needs unrestricted use of that property. It certainly could be owned by someone else, but the promise would need absolute priority. And fortunately for us, we also would need absolute priority. We're not discounting, Judge, the potential of in the future making a bid, but at the moment, we need to see what is going to happen for the sake of the county and the promise.
Totally understand.
But our offer, if the promise is successful in honorably negotiating, not compromising, I don't like that word, building a bridge and maintaining a bridge between both entities, we need this county. We need the principles of life in Somervell County. We need the promise. It's a light on a hill. And if promise is able to negotiate honorably and properly, with the consent of the council, I'm committing $50,000. $10,000 immediately upon completion of that negotiation and the assumption of title by the promise, and $40,000 within the next 6 months to make $50,000 altogether. Hopefully that says two things. County officials, you're appreciated. You have behaved honorably over 40 years of my life that I've lived Glenwood as my home. Thomas,